Okay, so today's lesson is going to be about solving triangles using law of cosines. But before we do that, we have a warm-up on page 12. So we will pause the video here and give you about 5 minutes to do the warm-up, and then we will unpause and watch the solution. So I like to draw a picture and label it, it helps. And when it says solve the triangle, it wants every single missing piece. So I'm going to first start with the missing angle, because I know that the angles in a triangle add up to 180. So this missing angle is 99. And this is side A and side B. So let's do side A first. So the sine of 39 over A is the sine of 99 over 47. We're going to cross multiply. A sine of 99 equals 47 sine of 39. To isolate A, wait a minute. Make sure you're in degree mode. Let's start that again. 47 sine of 39. All right, third time's the charm. 47 sine of 39 divided by sine of 99 gives me a side length of 29.95. It doesn't say what to round to, so 2 decimal places is good. Then we're going to repeat that process for B. I'm going to use the same sine of 99. I'm just kind of ignore that and cross multiply this way. So B times sine of 99 is, 47 sine of 42. I ran out of room. So we got 47 sine of 42 divided by the sine of 99. When I cross multiply and isolate the B, and that side is 31.84. You can kind of do a sanity check. The biggest side should be across from the biggest angle. And the smallest side should be across from the smallest angle. And the middle angle and the middle side. Okay, so area is 1/2 AB sine of C. I'm gonna use, I don't know, pick what you wanna use. Let's pick angle A, why not? So that's 1/2 31.84 times 47 sine of 39. It's really the 2 adjacent sides to an angle. So when you have side angle side, so side angle side, you can fill them in. Even if you picked a different angle, you'd have 2 different sides and we should all get the same answer. So around 470.88 units squared. Okay, so the law of cosines, here's how this is different than the law of sines. It relates 3 of the sides with the angle. And it does, on your formula sheet, I think it only has this one. And notice the side by itself goes with the corresponding angle there. So like this A squared goes with that A, that B squared goes with that B. And it kind of looks like Pythagorean theorem if you cover up the extra parts there. So let's just do an example here. Find the missing angles and sides. Well, I'm given this 43 degrees. I don't have the other two, and I can't find them the way it's given. I can't use law of sines, because if I did sine of 43 over b, I'd have sine of c over that, and like there'd be two variables. So law of sines is out. You can't do it. So I'm going to set this up with this middle statement just because of the b's. So b squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2 times a times c cosine of the angle. When you're solving for this side, you could type all of this in your calculator the way it looks. Make sure I didn't have any typing mistakes. So that b squared is 497.41416667. So if I square root, and then I want that whole value, so I'm going to do second negative to put the answer in. So side B is 22.3. Now that I have an angle and its side, I can do the law of sines to find angle A, and I can do the law, oh no, and then I'll do 180 to find the other one. Okay, so we're gonna cross multiply. Divide by 22.3. That's 0.856. So I'm gonna do sine inverse of that answer. And the angle is, let's round that to 59 degrees. So then angle C is 180 minus 59 minus 43, because all the angles have to add up to 180. 78 degrees. Okay, find measures D, E, and F. So when you're given all three sides, you can do the law of cosines on any of them, but you must start with the largest angle. So where's the biggest side? That's the 15. So angle E is what I have to find first. In our law of cosines, none of these say D, E, or F, and that's okay. It's whatever side is by itself in the equation goes with the corresponding angle. So 15 squared is going to equal the other two sides squared minus 2 times the sides cosine of E. When you're solving for the angle, you cannot type all of this in. Order of operations says this multiplying comes separate from here. So let's square all these values. So this is 225 equals 49 plus 196 minus 2 times 7 times 14. And it is very, very, very tempting to condense those, but you can't. These are connected. I have to do 49 plus 196. Still can't condense anything on the right-hand side, but I can move the 245 to the right. Negative 20 equals negative 196 cosine E. Then I'm going to divide by negative 196. And I'm just going to leave that fraction. So to get E, I'm going to do cosine inverse of 20 divided by 196. They were both negative, so I made them both positive. If you type, both negatives, that's fine. And I get 84, we'll round to an integer. Let's go 84 degrees. Now that we have that, you can do law of sines if you really like it to find the other angles. So we can say sine of 84 over 15 equals, let's do f, sine of f over 14. Cross multiply, divide. So I'm gonna do sine, 0.928, inverse of that answer. So F is 68 degrees. So 68 plus 84, 180 minus that, gives me angle D is 28 degrees. All right, last but not least, suppose 3 camp plates are positioned. We've got feet. The campers communicate using 2-way radios with a range of about 1 mile, which is 5,280 feet. Can campsite 1 and campsite 3 can talk to each other? Well, I don't know if you can read that picture. This side is labeled 3,900 feet at site 3. Over here at site 2, the angle is 86 degrees. This side is labeled 3,400 feet, and this is site 1. So it's really asking us for this missing side. And we're gonna set up the law of cosines. So x squared equals one side squared plus the other side squared minus 2 times, oh no, cosine 86. All right, just fit it. When you're solving for the side, I can type all of that in exactly as it looks. I don't have to be fancy like I was in number 2. Just make sure you're typing the right numbers. And then we're gonna square root that answer. $4,991.999431 feet. So is that less than 1 mile? Yes. The radios will work. Okay. We are going to do some practice on page 15, and then we will start our homework. So we'll pause the video here and give you about 10 minutes. Let's do numbers 1 and 4. Okay, pause the video, you try numbers 1 and 4, and then I will do them and you can check your work. Okay, so for number 1, I have to say b squared equals 17 squared plus 12 squared. Cosine of 35. This is the pure typing one. So 9.94. And then I'm gonna do sine of 35 over 9.94 equals, let's do C. Sine of C over 17. Cross multiply. Divide by 9.94. Oops. Inverse sine of that ratio gives me an angle of 79 degrees. So then 79 plus 35, 180 minus that. So angle A is 66 degrees. All right, and lastly for 4, A is 10, B is 7, C is 8. You have to solve for angle A first because it's across from the biggest side. Okay, so 10 squared is 100. These are protected. If you want to put the brackets there so you don't forget that, do that. 8 squared plus 7 squared is 113. You cannot subtract those numbers. The 112 is multiplied by the cosine. You cannot subtract. But I can move the 113 to this side and get negative 13 equals negative 112 cosine of A. Divide by negative 112. And we're gonna inverse. And get 83 degrees. And then I'll use the law of sines to finish. Let's do side B. Cross multiply. Divide by 10. All right, so we got 7 sine of 83 divided by 10. Sine inverse of that gives me 44 degrees. And the last angle is 53. Okay, your homework is the odds on page 17. You can use all these other problems as practice for the tests or quiz if you'd like. So here's page 17. The odds are your homework. The answers will be in Drive.